What's up everyone, Darcblade here with my Mass Effect 3 multiplayer class guide. Today we are going to be skipping ahead and taking a look at the new classes from the Earth DLC. Today's focus is going to be the N7 Fury, the adept class from the DLC. The N7 Fury is probably one of my favourite adept classes out there, may even be one of the best now. So let's take a look at what makes the N7 Fury so good. Now I spec my characters for the harder difficulties in the game, and with the N7 Fury I fully max out Annihilation Field. I put points into Drain so it returns shields, and it also increases the duration of the field. I put points into Damage Taken so it benefits the whole team, although movement speed is also a nice buff. I put points into Impact Radius rather than damage because I was experimenting if the Annihilation Field could go through walls and that. Normally I would put damage though. With Dark Channel, I put points into damage. You could put them into Pierce to do armor, but to be honest, a 50% increased damage is over all targets. I put points into slow rather than recharge speed, as my recharge speed is quite good. And for the last one, I put damage over duration, as I keep refreshing Dark Channel on targets normally. Now throw I've covered in other videos. I normally put it for force and damage, increase the combo detonations, and increase the force of the actual throw. N7 Fury and Fitness is down to personal preference. I personally put points in N7 Fury to increase the force and power damage, and in Fitness I go for health. Although I haven't put that many points into the Fitness tree, it means that this class is going to be fragile, but can dish out a lot of damage. As for weaponry, I go with a nice pistol. You want to be using your powers a lot with this, and so don't weigh yourself down with a heavy weapon so you've got that quick power recharge timer. Anyway, let's get into the abilities that the N7 Fury has. The first ability is Annihilation Field. Annihilation Field is a nice short-range move. It basically envelops the N7 Fury in this dark aura. You'll see these smoke-like dark waves floating around the N7 Fury when you've got this activated. Basically what this does is anyone who gets close to you while you have this activated will be burned, taking damage. It will also set them up for a biotic combo as well. Weaker opponents who take damage from the area of effect from Annihilation Field will also panic, acting as if they've been caught on fire. This panic effect is quite useful on the lower difficulties, but on Gold and Platinum it's not that useful, as the enemies are tougher and are really immune to the panic effect that some abilities can cause. Annihilation Field has a secondary function. It can be used as a blast radius, a short range blast radius, if you activate it a second time. Basically this can be used to activate and set off biotic explosions. The blast effect of Annihilation Field as well can be used to stagger opponents, giving you a split second to either get away or to land a killing blow. Just remember to reactivate Annihilation Field as its timer will run out, and after you've used the blast effect it's good to refresh it. Also, if you have spec'd into things like increased movement speed or the damage enemies taken from your entire team if they're too close to you, it's another reason why you should try to keep this activated as much as possible. Another benefit for Annihilation Field is that it can seep through walls, so enemies who are on the other side of platforms or barriers and that will be affected by the Annihilation Field, which is great. The only downside to Annihilation Field is that it is short range, and normally in the higher difficulties short range is not always the best form of combat. Anyway, moving on to the second ability that the N7 Fury has, which is Dark Channel. Dark Channel is a nice damage over time ability. It affects targets with a biotic plague almost, making them take constant damage whilst Dark Channel is on them. Dark Channel has some additional effects as well. For example, it has an effect where if the first target is killed by Dark Channel, it will leap to the second target closest to them. Of course there is a little bit of a range restriction. I mean, it's not going to jump halfway across the map if there's only one person near you. But this is a nice additional effect, especially if someone has been killed whilst being affected with Dark Channel. It means you don't have to recast it on the second target. Dark Channel can also be used to set up biotic combos. This is great because this move can be used to set up the combos at long distance, so you don't have to rely on Annihilation Field alone to set up your biotic explosions. With the biotic combos that have been set up from Dark Channel, I find that you have to refresh Dark Channel after the biotic explosion has been activated. This shouldn't be too big an issue, especially if you have a quick power recharge speed. For me, Dark Channel seems to work in one of two ways. Firstly, it's a small dot that is refreshed often, but mainly used to deal out big damage thanks to the fact that it can be used to set up biotic explosions. The second being that Dark Channel can eat away at targets who like to run away and hide. For example, phantoms when they go invisible. If they've been affected with Dark Channel, it means they're going to be taking big damage, but over a long period of time. The only downside with Dark Channel is that only one target may be affected by it at any time. So if you have put Dark Channel on someone who is running away, for example, you have to be careful not to cast it on someone else, as it will take the damaging effect off the target who has run away. Dark Channel though is a great move overall. I love the fact that it can be used to set up biotic explosions, and I love its damage over time effect. The fact that it jumps from target to target as these targets die is an added bonus, and I really think that this ability is one of the best in the N7 Fury's arsenal. The third ability that the N7 Fury has is Throw. I've covered this in other videos before, like the Asari Adept and the Human Sentinel, but I'll recap it here anyway. Basically, Throw is a straightforward biotic damaging move that can be used to detonate biotic explosions and other combos. The strength and damage of your Throw can be augmented thanks to the Throw Spectre. Throw is also a projectile that can arc towards enemies, so enemies in cover or behind walls can be still hit as long as you have them highlighted and as long as you position yourself that the Throw can arc around the wall or arc around the bit of cover that the target is hiding in. Throw also benefits from a really fast recharge timer, so you're able to activate your biotic explosions or your teammates' combos fairly quickly. There's not much more to say about Throw really. Throw is just basically a straightforward biotic damaging move that can be used to activate combos. I think it really suits the N7 Fury as well, as it's a nice, simple, to the point way to activate her biotic explosions that are set up either from Dark Channel or, if you're close enough, from Annihilation Field. Now, the N7 Fury is a human character but does not move or function like the other humans. It has a really nice set of melee moves where the N7 Fury will almost sort of like teleport in between each punch. Its heavy melee as well is almost like a miniature version of a biotic charge, followed up by an AoE as she comes out of the actual charge effect. Just be careful though, because unlike the normal biotic charge that the vanguards have, you don't seem to be immune to damage whilst you're charging. The N7 Fury also comes with a nice set of dodge moves. These dodge moves are like miniature teleports, which will transport you a tiny distance away from the position you are currently in. This is a nice move, especially as it can be used to teleport through obstacles. Along with the heavy melee, you can use this to teleport through small walls or barriers to make quick escapes. The only downside about this is you have to be careful that you're not teleporting into a room that is full of enemies, as you are vulnerable as you come out of this teleport. As for the two passive abilities the N7 Fury has, N7 Fury and Fitness, I try to put as many points as I can into more power damage and more force, and as much points as I can spare into health and shields. As for weaponry, I take a nice pistol. You could probably take a submachine gun or light assault rifle, but whatever you do, don't take something that's going to make your power recharge timer too high. This is a class that relies on its powers, so you need to have that timer quite quick. Anyway, so that's been my nutshell guide to the N7 Fury in Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. It's a great class. The way I've spec'd here makes it quite fragile, but it can dish out a hell of a lot of damage. You'll have to rely on your powers though, but as soon as you've mastered them, then you should enjoy this class thoroughly like I do. Anyway, I've been Darcblade, bringing you the N7 Fury guide to Mass Effect 3. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.